From the Bitcoin and Archive, here's a replay from the broader Bitcoin and Stack. Sometimes that means a past episode, sometimes an interview, and sometimes a guest appearance from another show. The headlines may have moved on, but the Bitcoin signal, market context, and practical lessons still hold up. If it's useful, it belongs back in the feed. Here's today's selection from the Bitcoin and Archive.
There's a better way to do this. Let me show you a better way. You don't have to be another face in the crowd.
Well, hi, folks. This is Jack Spirko with another edition of the Survival Podcast. As always, one man's view of the changing world, the changing times, and the things we can all do to live a better life if times get tough or even if they don't. Today is Thursday, March the 9th, 2023. This is episode 3264 of the Survival Podcast. And while we won't really talk a lot about Bitcoin today, we're actually going to be talking about something called Nostr. The two subjects are highly related, so I am going to also push this out onto the Bitcoin Breakout feed, Bitcoin Breakout episode 36 and Survival Podcast episode 3264 at the same time. I have a gentleman coming on. He's the host of a podcast called the Bitcoin and Podcast. And his name is David Bennett. He's a really cool guy. And he is actually the person that originally told me about Podcasting 2.0. I didn't get on it right away or anything, but he was the first person I ever heard about it from. And he reached out to me when I said I was looking for somebody to come on and talk about Nostr. Nostr is a way of disseminating and sharing information. I'll leave it at that, and we'll let David explain it deeper in just a moment. Before I bring him on, let's go ahead and hear from our two sponsors of the day. Sponsor day number one today is Start9. You're going to hear a little bit about Start9 today because you can actually run a Nostr relay on your Start9 server. You can run a Bitcoin node. You can run a Bitcoin Lightning node. You can host your own images. You can run your own end-to-end, fully encrypted, military-grade, fully encrypted chat services. You can act as a hub for your community, your family, etc. You can control your data. You can 100% control your data, your own password management, access your files from anywhere in the world with no third party, nobody in between, running your own services on your own server. It's really not that hard. You need to get over to start9.com and learn more about them today. And remember, if you're an MSB member, you get 9% off all purchases at start9.com. And if you're switched on and using that Fold card, yeah, you can buy yourself a gift card inside the Fold app, and you can use that for an even greater discount and stack the two together with Start9 products. Next up today is... who is this? RidgeWallet.com. I love the Ridge Wallet. Been carrying it now for about 5 years. Makes my life a heck of a lot easier to keep all my ID cards, my credit cards, and things like that. All those things that have those little RFID tags in them that people can actually steal information off of, because I don't know if you know that, but they can. When they're encased in titanium, not so easy to do anymore. Plus, it's a minimalist wallet. It just really works better. I've been doing that again 5 years. I put my billfold away. I've never gone back to it ever again. I probably never will. And also, Ridge has come up with a ton, just a ton of really cool EDC items. You can learn more at ridge.com. Next up, real quick before we get started, I also wanted to let you know, or kind of remind you, about the Self-Reliance Festival in Camden, Tennessee. I've got a post out about it today called Find Your Tribe, telling you about how there's so much cool stuff going on up there. You really want to get to the Self-Reliance Festival if there's any way that you can. Nicole Sauce and John Willis have put together a great event up there once again, March 25 and 26. But the big thing is if you can't get there, the next best thing is a virtual pass. You can actually get a virtual ticket to watch all the presentations virtually as well, and you can learn all about that at survivalpodcast.com. It'll be the post right underneath the episode that you're about to hear. And with that, let's drop into the live stream with David Bennett and find out what the F is Nostr. And we are live. Welcome, folks, to episode 3264 of the Survival Podcast. I believe it is 37 or 36 of the Bitcoin breakout. I'm not sure. Don't hold me to that. This has been a discombobulated morning. And somehow our guest managed to be here on time anyway, even though I didn't send him to the freaking invite link until about 2 seconds before he was supposed to go live. So, David, man, thanks for being with us today.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me, Jack. I appreciate it.
I'm really excited about this. We're going to talk about Nostr today. And this will be an unusual type of episode for me. Generally, when I hear about something new and it interests me, I learn as much as I can about it. I talk about it. Then I bring somebody on to talk about it further. I don't know jack about Nostr, and I kind of did that on purpose because I feel like there's some technical stuff here. And instead of pretending to be ignorant, I figured I would just be ignorant for a change so that I can ask questions that truly are like, I don't get it questions, instead of feigning that. So this will be kind of fun for me to be completely out of my league here in talking about this. But before we dig into Nostr, can you tell us a little bit about David Bennett, man? Who's David Bennett? What was I know you're a podcaster now, but what was like your professional life in the past, and what led you to Bitcoin and things related to blockchain and things like Nostr?
Well, the last job that I had was I was the lead administrator for the Texas Tech University Libraries 3D animation studio, digital media studio, and I did that for 10 years. And the thing about working for the state is that no matter what is going on, you always find yourself with inordinate amounts of time that you're not doing anything, which really sucks. So, while it was actually partially our own fault. We built such a good studio. We had such good equipment. Our licensing for the software was really good. It was a well-oiled machine, man. And therefore we found ourselves with lots of time. So I ended up started watching stuff about regenerative agriculture.
Okay.
And I think I got into it through aquaponics, and then that led to, it's a rabbit hole like everything else, right?
Yeah.
And that one thing led to another, and that led to Diego Footer, and that led to Permaculture Voices 3, which is where I first met you in person. And then I started listening to you. I want to say you were still doing that thing with your old intern, Josiah? Yeah, okay. I think. And then I started listening to you, and you started beating me around the head and shoulders about Bitcoin. And we come to 2015. I started working in 2009 at Tech, and I did other things before that. But this is really the point where my life kind of shifted, was during this job. So I bought my first Bitcoin at $250 sometime in late summer of 2015. And the first thing I did after that was send you 0.2 Bitcoin for your member service brigade. And that was the most expensive subscription I've ever bought in my entire life. Of course, at the time it was $50. Not so anymore. And once you go down the Bitcoin rabbit hole, everything changes. And start realizing things, and the thing that I realized the most is just how misled I've been throughout my entire life. And the further down the rabbit hole I got, I realized that my dad and my mother had been misled for their entire lives. And it was probably, at one point or another, my granddad probably knew the actual truth, but we find ourselves here in clown world. And it's a series of mistruths. It's a series of being misled about everything, about money, about food, about banking, about how you're too stupid to understand financial stuff. And it's like, it's kind of designed that way. And I get all of this through, once you're down the Bitcoin rabbit hole, that's it. You're done for life. Everything that you left is sort of the only way that I can put it. And then everything that comes along the way, everything that comes down the pipe for Bitcoin is the only things that I'm interested in. And this leads us to Nostr.
Gotcha. And then don't feel bad about paying 0.2 Bitcoin for MSB membership. It's not the one back there, but if you ever want to see, I guess this is up today about a $24,000 shotgun, I can show you one. Because I bought a Browning Auto A5 pre-war Belgian made. It's worth about $1,500 for like $600.
Yeah.
With a Bitcoin when Bitcoin was right at $600. And so you could look at it as I paid $600 for it. You could look at it as, well, right now I paid $23,000 something for it. Or you could look at it that I paid whatever the all-time high has been. Because I could have, and I don't think we should get upset over that with Bitcoin. It's just, I'm now of the mind that every time I ever spent a Bitcoin, I wish I didn't. And every time I didn't buy a Bitcoin, I wish I did. So I've kind of moved to where if I spend Bitcoin, I spend dollars into Bitcoin. I don't once it goes into my stack, it's forever. It's never going anywhere. You know, when they always talk about, X amount of Bitcoin has not moved in 10 years, that's me.
Yeah. And to be clear, I don't actually feel bad about that 0.2 Bitcoin at all. It is a reminder to me.
Yeah.
But that's all it is. It's a reminder that I really got to think, do I really want to do this? And before it was like, no, you just buy it. It's just this money that somehow or another pours out of the sky.
Magic
you don't really,
money.
you don't really know where I'm thinking about the US dollar. It's like, you go work for it and stuff, but it just magically appears and it's magically fungible and it's magically all this stuff. And I didn't really start really hammering my own brain about, are you sure you want this? What is this? What is this thing that you buy with this value that is your time on this planet going to look like in 3 months?
That's the thing, and it's the big thing for people younger than us. A lot of these people in their 20s, it's the first time they ever thought about not spending money they had before.
Yeah.
Like ever in their life, where they actually went, wait a minute, if I spend this, I don't have it anymore. And I think that's one of many reasons the establishment hates it. But let's turn the corner to Nostr, because even the folks that tune into this today, they're like, more Bitcoin on the Survival Podcast. Look, we're talking about Nostr today, and it'd be good if you involved Bitcoin with it. But what we're really talking about, from my understanding, is a platform for freedom of communications and sharing of information. That's about as much as I know. I know one other thing, and maybe we'll talk about that as we get through this today, but that's about all I know at this point. So what the F is Nostr in the first place? Because when I try to use it to look stuff up and say, well, tell me about Nostr, mostly I get stuff about Nostradamus. And I know that's not it, right? I even tried to get Chat AI to make me some copy for today, and it kept writing stuff about Nostradamus.
Yeah. I have had the same problem that you may be experiencing with trying to figure out what the hell Nostr is. I listened to podcasts. I purposely found podcasts, that's like that had somebody that's talking about Nostr. And, I'd listen to a 1 hour podcast and I still am no closer to what the hell this is than I was before, an hour ago. And that always really bugged me. So I had a guy that has built a client for Nostr on my podcast, and I'll email you that link at one point or another so that if you want to put it in show notes, you can. And we talked extensively about it, and I told him the same thing. I'm like, I got to figure out what this is, because I want to figure out what it is during that interview. Like, I didn't know anything, because once I finally figured it out, a lot of stuff clicked, and I'm kind of hoping that that's what we do here. So I just kind of want to start with what Nostr actually stands for, because
that would be great.
It's not NOSTR stands for notes and other stuff transmitted by relays.
Okay.
And once we get through this, I think that will make a lot more sense.
It already makes more sense to me right there.
Right.
I heard about relays, and now that all starts to connect.
Okay, so at the base level, the simplest thing that I can say what Nostr is, thinking of notes and other stuff, is that it's a network communications protocol. It's not a computer program. It's not, it has to be implemented in some kind of language at one point.
Sure.
But let me illustrate what I mean. I asked on Nostr I go, can somebody tell me what computer language this is written in? And the answer was, it's written in English because it's a protocol. I can tell you my protocol. I wake up, I go drink coffee, I sit down with my kids, I take my kids to school. That's a protocol.
Yes.
And that's a Monday through Friday protocol. I can implement that in whatever language that I want, but essentially it's language free. It's just describing what needs to happen for other things to happen. That's the protocol.
So TCP is a protocol, and it gets implemented in whatever language is building the utility that uses TCP/IP.
Yes, and the other well-known protocols are the same way: SMTP, FTP, HTTP. All these are just nothing but protocols.
Okay.
But we have to be able to interact with those protocols, and that's where the client comes in, right? So before I even talk about a client, I want to talk about the note part of notes and other stuff transmitted by relays. A note is like, let's say you jump on Twitter and you write a tweet. In Nostr, that's sort of what we call a note. That's all that is. It's just like a piece of text, or maybe I send a link out over the protocol, something like that. That's all a note is. But the note is part of a slightly larger thing in the protocol called an event, and the event is really lightweight. And lightweight is what is absolutely essential, and why I'm so mind blown about this entire protocol in the first place. It weighs almost nothing as far as kilobytes or bytes or megabytes. It's very, very lightweight. So there's only 6 parts of an event that actually have to be satisfied for it to be recognized by the protocol and sent to wherever it's going to be sent to, and that's the ID number of the actual note or the event itself. So that's like, I write 2 notes. One is one ID. The other one has a completely different ID. That's how you keep them separate, right? There's a kind, which is like kind 1 or kind 2 or kind 3. Kind 1 is where you're just sending a simple text. It's just that simple. It's just like, it tells the protocol, okay, you're going to be handling only text. That's a kind 1, right? And then there's a pub key, okay, just very much like Bitcoin. In fact, it's exactly like Bitcoin. My pub key identifies me. That's how you know it came from me, because it's got my pub key in it. So it's like, oh, well, this came from David. And then there's a timestamp, and then there's the content.
Okay.
Like, this is going to work, or hi Jack, or whatever as the text. And then there's tags. There can either be 0 tags, like, I don't know, like a regular tag, like hashtag Survival Podcast. Okay. Something like that. But the big one that makes everything work is the signature. The signature is your private key. It's the exact same. In fact, it's ECDSA. It's elliptic curve. It's the way Bitcoin keys are generated. When you have a Bitcoin wallet and you generate a private key, it's done the exact same way in Nostr. Because
so the public key says I am Jack, and that way anybody can see it and verify it. And my private key lets information be published as Jack.
Yes.
Okay.
And that comes in handy later. We'll talk about it, because things can get a little dicey when we start thinking about it. But that's essentially an event. If I have those 6 pieces of information, all of a sudden that is a valid event type for Nostr. The protocol says, I understand what this is. Now I can do shit with it. Okay. So that's where we are on just the protocol. But none of that makes sense, and this is where I kept getting tripped up when I was trying to figure out what Nostr was. I need a client to be able to interface with the protocol, because the protocol by itself, I can't really interface with it. I need a client. And like Twitter is a client for the Twitter protocol. Okay. That's the interface.
So that's the other thing I think I know. So you tell me if I know this right or if I'm confused.
Yeah, sure.
So let's compare it to like a Twitter or a MeWe or a Facebook or anything like that. These are all proprietary protocols and proprietary applications or platforms.
Yes,
They use their language to do their thing their way, where Nostr is open, so I could create a client to utilize it, and you could be on client A and I could be on client B, and we would still be able to see each other's stuff, or no?
Yes.
Or maybe.
Let's talk about what you just said about the proprietariness of all these things. Is that these are the walled gardens that we're talking about? Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube. It's a protocol plus the client, but there's something more insidious, right? The ID that you use to sign in is also proprietary, and it ain't owned by you. Okay. It's owned by them. So those three things we talk about, it's a protocol, and then there's the client. And we always leave off the fact that your identity to interact with those systems is also proprietary, owned by Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and they have control as to whether or not your ID is valid or not. They can kick you off at any time. They can suspend you at any time. They can black hole your ass at any time, and it's all up to them because your ID is not yours. It's theirs. That's a problem. And when you get all three of those things taken together, that's where you get things like Dr. Malone just disappearing off of Twitter.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Okay? That's where you get, like, you didn't use Twitter, from what I understand you saying in a couple of your podcasts. You didn't use Twitter for a long time because you were just in a black hole. You were shadow banned.
I was there. You could look for me and find me, but if you followed me, you saw almost nothing that I published, and it wasn't like I left Facebook out of sheer anger. I left Twitter during that time out of completely, there's no reason for me to do this.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing in return. So why would I spend 1 second a day doing it? And like Elon Day came and all of a sudden everybody saw me again. Right? You could just as easily go the other way, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I remember because I was on Twitter, like I started my Twitter account in 2011. Yeah. I didn't really start using it until, 2014, 2015. And all that time, I was like, in 2013, I guess is when it was either 2012, 2013 when I found you through Diego Footer. Yeah. Right? And I started getting on Twitter, but from, let's say 2015 to, up until the day I got banned several times. I never saw a thing from you. Yeah. I even followed you. Yeah. I went and searched for the Survival Pod and found it and followed it, and I got Jack. That's what I got.
Yeah, not Jack.
I got not Jack. That's exactly right.
You got not Jack.
Okay, so that's the problem with the open, or rather the walled gardens, is they own those three things: the protocol, the client that you use, and your ID, right? Okay. So the open gardens are stuff like the Fediverse. Are you familiar with that at all?
No.
Have you heard of Mastodon?
Yes.
Okay, that's a client that plugs in.
Federated. Okay, yeah, okay.
And they have their own protocol, but it's kind of open, but it's kind of boring as hell because of various reasons, and we're not here to talk about that, but that's one of the more open gardens. FTP, File Transfer Protocol, which is yet another network communication protocol, is you can kind of look at that as an open garden, right? There's nobody that really controls your ID, and even if they did, you could just you gen up another ID off of another client. So that's open, right? That's an open garden. And then we have Nostr, right? And in Nostr, the protocol is open sourced. Okay, so anybody can copy it from the GitHub. Anybody can make changes to it. Anybody can help, the original implementation of Nostr by writing code for it if they want. It doesn't matter because it's free and open source software. And I think it's under an MIT open source software licensing. Anybody can use it. And I think you can make money from it too if you want. It just however you want to do it, right? So then we come, so the protocol's open, and then there's the clients that come in. And that, again, what we're talking about is our window into what's going on in the Nostr network. And without that window, it becomes very difficult to interact with it. And the more easy that user experience that the client provides, because that's what a client does. It provides you, the user, with an experience. How do I experience Nostr the network? I do it through these clients. And I'll just name a couple in case people are like, wanting to know. I use Damus on iOS. Nostr Damus.
Okay, DAMAS.
Yeah, DAMUS. Yeah, that's for Apple stuff like iOS, MacBook, stuff like that. If you're on Android, Amethyst. That's another one for mobile. And then there's all the web clients. And there's so many web clients. We'll get into that one later, but that client, again, provides you the nice little framed window that allows you to open the window and lean out and smell the fresh air or the stank of somebody's malicious crap, because you get all of it. You got to filter yourself. There's no algorithm that's going to protect your little baby feelings. Okay. You're going to see stuff that you don't want to see. And you have to make your choices from there on, because Elon Musk can't step in and say, yeah, I'm gonna ban your public key from every client, from every protocol implementation, from blah. It's just not happening. It's just not, right? So this all boils down to the key pairs. The key pair, like I said, is elliptic curve digital signal or signature algorithm, or ECDSA. It is exactly the same as if I buy a cold card wallet from CoinKite and it comes in the mail and I set it up and I go, I need a new private key. It will generate that key. That is my ability to sign a message, or in the case of Bitcoin, sign a transaction that makes it valid.
And let's hold there for just a second so that nobody gets upset about big, giant words they don't understand.
Right.
If you're using, let's say, a Bitcoin wallet right now, you're doing this even though you don't know you're doing this.
Yes.
The wallet acts as the client for you, is what he's saying. And so you don't have to – he's using this so that it's accurate, and if you want to fully understand it, you can. But when you have these clients, they're creating – think of it like your GUI, your graphic user interface, so that you don't have to go in, because you could manually code every single thing you wanted to do and send it one at a time. That would be, very few people would do that, and it would suck. So somebody builds a client that automates a lot of this for you, so you don't necessarily, just like most people that send email every day or use the internet every day don't know what TCP/IP is, or they don't know what HTTP is when they're using it. You're using it all the time. So you don't necessarily have to understand these definitions to use this tool to share information or to gather information, which probably is actually even more important.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So just that, that private key aspect, as we go back to Nostr, that allows me to sign my events. Without that key, I'm not sending anything. I mean, and if somebody has sent me a direct message in Nostr, since that's end-to-end encrypted, I need my private key to decrypt that direct message. If I don't have my private key, I can't see the direct message. So, and a direct message here is exactly like it is in Twitter, except I'm not sure if Twitter is end-to-end encrypted. I doubt it very seriously. But the public key, you can think of that as your login and your identity, so people can find you. Without that public key, you can't find me on Nostr. I got to actually give it to you. So here's the catch. And like in the thing that I sent you when I was filling out your form, I think I titled it, WTF is Nostr and how it works and sometimes how it doesn't. This is one of the things where you got to understand something about this. So so let's say Jack gives me his private key. Or no, I mean his public key. Sorry,
Okay,
don't do that. Don't give me your private key ever.
Treat it like a Bitcoin private key. You don't want to do that.
Right. Like I email Jack and I say, I'm trying to find you on Nostr. Can you send me your public key through email? Nobody cares. It's a public key.
Sure.
Right. But with that public key, not only can I find you when I'm logged in with my private keys on some client, right? And I'm fully logged in as me, I can find you and I can follow your account. And then I can go log out and then I can go log back in, this time with your public key. I will never be able to sign an event, but I will see every single person that you follow, every person that follows you, every note that you sent, and all of your followers and I can see everything you see exactly the way you see it, except direct messages. Okay. Because that's end-to-end encrypted, I would have to have your private key to be able to decrypt it. Okay. But think about what that means. I mean, yes, you can do this in a way you can do the same thing in Twitter, but this one it gives me pause because I'm like, let's say I start following a whole bunch of really demented people that put out really demented stuff, and Jack just plugs my public key in and says, I want to see what David sees when he gets into his client. Oh my God. Yeah. I can't believe he's looking at this. So in a way, that's sort of one of the things that kind of should make people think twice before I'm not bagging on Nostr. I'm just saying that this is the way it is. This is warts and all. And that's a pretty big wart because
what's different there is if you went to my Twitter account right now, you can see all my followers, but you don't see my feed from my vantage point. You would have to go through one at a time and see who those people were and what they were posting.
Yes.
So what you are saying is it would be like, I don't want to overstate this. It would be like running a screen capture video of me looking at my feed, except I'm not actually doing anything. Like, it's not like you would see that I was beginning to type a message and got rid of it, but everything that came to me, you would see through my window.
Exactly.
Huh.
So it's one of those be aware things. Yeah. Right? I mean, it's like if you're like, I don't know, goody two shoes and whatever, who cares? But if you're like let's say it's not even say it's nefarious. Let's say that I log in with, I don't know, some Saudi Arabian activist pub keys and find out that this Saudi Arabian activist really hates her government, blah, blah, blah. Well, her government, if they know her public key, can see all that crap. Yeah. So understand that we're at the very base of this protocol. I am absolutely certain that things will come up that will help the user not have that happen, but it ain't there yet. This is like
good. So that would be a good reason unless you're like, see, I'm a public facing brand. It doesn't do me any good to be on there anonymously. Right. It would probably make a lot of sense for the average user to not necessarily, just wants to, I would say 90% of people that let's say use Twitter don't publish almost any content. They follow people and they're mostly consumers. They may do a little sharing or whatnot, but mostly they're consumers. And those people, even on Twitter, I kind of recommend you don't need to necessarily be public about who you are because you're giving away information. It's kind of like a double-edged sword. Like if I don't do that, then I get nothing out of it. Right. Right. I'm not really on Twitter to find out that, Coca-Cola released a new formula or something. I really don't care about that. I'm there to promote myself. That's what I do. Right. But most people, that's not why they're there.
Nope. They're there to consume and shit post and give journalists hell about. Well, I won't say the word because I guess this is going to YouTube, so I'm not going to say anything that's going to get you beat off. But you speak your mind, and that's what pretty much. I'm pretty sure that's what got me kicked off of Twitter. So.
Oh, I'm sure it did. So I think we've covered what a client is. A client is an app or a web interface that lets us look through the window and lets us connect to other people. So it's also decentralized communications. So let's talk a little bit about what it means, because we throw that word around. And how does Nostr meet the definition of decentralized?
Well, that's really more about the relays and how, the Nostr protocol interacts with those and your private and public keys. It's kind of interesting. And this is, I guess, let's see here. I if I'm looking off in the distance, it's because I actually wrote down some notes, like for prompts and stuff, to figure out how to talk about this. It's decentralization. It's like, because I've got, what does decentralized communications mean for the world? Let's just say, okay, I got my public key and I'm into Nostr. How the hell do I get your note? Like, when you send something out and I'm following your public key, how do I see it? And this goes back to the whole client protocol ID proprietary system. All that's centralized. They have centralized computers at Twitter. It's fast. And everybody that's following, like if I'm following you and somebody else is following you on Twitter, we'll see the same messages at roughly the same time, and it's all great. Not so on Nostr, because it's not centralized. Mm-hmm. I could, like right now, you have a Start 9 unit, right?
Yep.
Okay. When was the last time you updated the software?
A couple of weeks ago.
Take a look if they have another update, and like not now, but later on today. Because for running my Bitcoin full node, I use my node BTC, and it's running on a Raspberry Pi, and it's right over there. And all of a sudden, one day I updated it, and lo and behold, they enabled me to have a Nostr relay of my very own that I can run on my Raspberry Pi. I can choose to do that. I don't know how to configure it. Okay, so that's the limits right now. If I got to go learn some shit before I can, step into that, and I'm not going to do it just yet. But I can if I wanted to, and I'm thinking that Start 9 has a Nostr relay. So
I think they do, but I just haven't touched it until this interview. That was the point.
Yeah, and I probably won't be doing that for my own relay stuff
the
for a while.
Web Services and Technology God for all things TSP has spoken. Tom says Start 9 has a Nostr relay now. So
okay. And there's more to come. So as you can see, this starts to get really integrated with Bitcoin, right? Yeah. But only because they can live on the same platform and the same interface. But the deal is that I'm connected to, like, let's say a relay, not a whole bunch of relays. We'll get into that yet, but one relay, and you're connected to that same relay. You can see my notes and I can see your notes, but I can't see the notes of somebody who's not connected to the relay, and neither can you. Okay. So, again, this is where user experience kind of suffers. And I just have something to say for all the people that want what they've always had to be exactly the same on something different out of the box. Yeah. Stop it. Please stop it. I mean, when did we get...
Don't be the Californian that moved to Idaho and said, we need a law about this. Don't do that shit.
Yeah, experience it. Be part of it. Try to understand it while it's still young and fresh and growing. It's like, I don't want my children to be already grown up. I'm not going to learn anything about my children if they're born with being 25 years old.
Yeah.
So please give the developers a chance, give the users a chance to get back to the developers, and together they build the thing that you eventually want, but it ain't going to happen out of the box. And this is one of the ways that it does not happen out of the box. My user experience is completely dependent on the client that I use and the relays that my client are attached to. I can attach to more than one relay. If we are attached, like let's say, like right now, I think I've got 20 relays in my list, which is a little high. And lots of people are like, and the more relays, the more data stream that you've got. So If you're connected to 30, you can heat your phone up. I'm just saying I've seen people get completely crushed on their monthly data plans because they just weren't understanding what was going on. I'm like, for each one of these relays, even if they're like 10 of the 20 I'm using, if a note is being sent by 10 different relays, but it's the exact same note,
you're replicating it.
You 10 times the data for one piece of information.
Ah.
Okay, so again, this is sort of where the UX suffers. I don't think it actually suffers. I think it's really interesting to watch this thing grow, but be that as it may, it is a thing.
Probably in time, I would guess clients will evolve and start filtering that. Like, okay, you have this, you don't need it from these places, right? Or
they already are, Jack.
Okay, great. Yeah.
So things move pretty fast. So but what I want to really make clear is that, let's say you and I both use Damus. We're both on our iPhone. We're both connected to 20 clients. 10 of those clients are the same, and 10 clients for you are completely different than 10 clients from me.
Okay.
Our user experience and what we see and who we can see notes from will be completely different, because you'll be getting notes from relays that I'm not connected to, and I'm getting notes from relays that you're not connected to. But for the 10 that we're both connected to, we're going to get those notes. The deal is that when you the older the relay and the best ping times and the most uptime tend to be the things that people really want to connect to. And you can find those through various tools. We'll hopefully get to that at the end. But chances are very good that I am connected to as many relays as most of the people that I follow are connected to. When I'm looking at it by myself, I just have my user experience, but your mileage may vary. And that's, again, that would be something where somebody might go, well, didn't you see John's note? And you say, well, no, I have no idea what the hell you're talking about. So there's friction. There could be friction there, especially if you're trying to coordinate, like, I don't know, a meetup or something like that, right?
Okay, yeah.
So there's enough friction there that can, be kind of off-putting. And again, I just ask people to be patient and understand that we're 2 years into this protocol. It's only 2 years old.
Yeah, look at it, like, compare it to Lightning. So Lightning was first proposed in 2015, and if I remember right, it was first implemented in like 2018.
Yep.
And
we were very reckless.
By 2019, all of the big block idiots were just saying how it sucked and it didn't work, and you had to run your own node and it would never work. And here we sit in 2023, and apps like Fountain are enabling people like me and yourself to receive literally thousands of transactions a day.
Yes.
1 sat or 10 sats out of shot when people streaming us stuff. And so that, if you went back to 2019 and said, it'll do this, people would have said, shut up, right? You don't know what you're talking about. So this is something that it's a baby.
Yeah, it is an infant. I mean, a newborn.
Yeah.
We're at the very edge, we're at the very bleeding edge of everything that could bleed and everything that has an edge.
Okay.
You want to experience what testing in production actually looks like? Come on and join us, because this is exactly what it looks like.
Well, I also think, because I did listen to a couple, like working and listening to YouTube videos about Nostr in the background, and what I started to understand is everybody looks at this now and says, okay, this is a replacement for Twitter. No, this is a protocol, and the first thing people are building on it is a replacement for Twitter. It actually could be used to develop things we haven't even thought of yet on top of it. Just the way that when we came up with Lightning, it was, we need a way for somebody to buy a coffee and a scone with Bitcoin and not pay a fee that's a third of the cost of the coffee and the scone.
Right.
And now it's a way that people are sharing value at fractions of a cent at the speed of light.
Right.
Right. And so no one thought, oh, you know what? We're going to build Lightning so that there can be a fountain.
Yes.
Nobody thought that. They're like, we're going to build Lightning so there can be quick, fast payments between individuals. And then the other things came. So we could end up with maybe marketplaces built on top of this, or maybe advertising platforms built on top of this.
Well, exactly. And that kind of gets back to, I think the question that I had actually posited to you on the forum was, again, what does decentralized communications mean for the world?
Yeah.
So I kind of want to drill down into that. And you may not agree at all with the analogy that I'm about to use, but I am the guest. I get some kind of leverage.
No, you get to say whatever you want.
So you always say that marketing is the story that you tell about yourself, a service, a product, something labeled X. Okay. I look at that as non-value communication. I look at that as Nostr. I also look at that as the walled gardens that we just got past. But because a lot of people said, well, sending value is just me communicating with you. No. Yeah, but there's value attached. That makes it a little different.
Yeah.
So the marketing part I look at as Nostr.
Okay.
And the question is, or not the question, but a sale, that transfer of belief between one entity and the other, that's a Bitcoin transaction or a Lightning transaction. Mm-hmm. So when you get into is the question about is global communications important for me, for you, protests just get shut down because they turn off Twitter in China. Nobody knows where to go. Nobody knows what time it's going to start. You got the MyPillow guy who just completely got deleted off of everything. So his ability to advertise his product in public is almost nil. And when I announce the daily podcast, when I say, hey, here's what I'm going to talk about, here's a link to it, and I used to throw that up on Twitter. Well, it's never going to be up on Twitter anymore because I'm gone, right? All of the boots on the ground reporting and 3D print files for firearms, being able to send that to you over Nostr, that's not going to be able to be stopped. Yeah. Some relays may decide the relay operator is just, a wussy and decides that they don't want to get into freedom or whatever, but I got other relays that I can do. So that's the non-value communication part. And that's important because if I don't know that my pillow guy has a pillow for sale, I can't buy it.
You can't do the value side. Or in free speech, it's that we always think of free speech as the right to speak. Yes. But it's also the right to hear. Yeah. And that's kind of the same way of explaining the thing. I have a right to speak, but if your right to hear me speak is impaired, then as much as it's hurting me, it's also hurting you. Yes. Because you might want to know what I have to say.
Yeah, I might want your product. I did want your product. I bought MSB for 0.2 Bitcoin. I would have never been able to do that. Had you not had a platform to say, hey, I got this thing. It costs this. Yeah. I take this. And here's how you get me that value.
Well, and I'm going to go out on a limb based on when you told me you found me. Uh-huh. I run a website. You can get my stuff from my site directly, but odds are at that time in the world, you went to Apple Podcasts and found me.
Yes. Well, right? Because
if I wasn't on Apple Podcasts back then, I wouldn't have what I have today, and that could be taken away from me at any time.
Right. Yes, exactly. So the thing about it is what decentralized communications means to the world is that we had answered one problem of the ability to communicate value to each other, real monetary value through Bitcoin. But now we've got all the non-value stuff. So let me give you an example of, I ran an experiment when I was first on Nostr because we were able to put Lightning invoices directly into the notes. Okay. Right. So what I did is I took it my wife knits. Now she's actually starting to spin her own yarn, but that's another story. Get it? Sorry. Yes. Bad. I love bad jokes. So I took a picture of one of the hats that she knitted. And then I ginned up a 100 Satoshi Lightning invoice, just a regular old fashioned Lightning invoice. I put both of those into a single note. And then at the very top, I said, I'm running an experiment. Somebody please pay me 100 sats to buy this hat. No, you're not actually getting the hat. And then in the Lightning invoice, give me your address. And within seconds, that hat was bought. The Lightning invoice was paid. My wallet of Satoshi flashed it. And then the first thing back was, there's no room in the memo of this Lightning invoice when I'm paying it to put in my full address. The idea is I don't want their address in public. I want their address to be between me and you, or, me and that person.
Yeah.
So, but the point I'm trying to make is that in a single event on Nostr, I was able to advertise the thing and have a payment structure all in one place.
And sell
they didn't have, to sell the damn thing.
See, this makes me think of my discussion with the dude that wants to make a Zola into fuel and biochar and stuff like that. His other thing he wanted to do was create something very similar to this with advertising and sales, but that I could literally do the same thing and at the same time be running an affiliate program that you see the thing I'm trying to sell and I don't have anybody following me that'll buy it, but you relay it. Not the right word for this because it means something else, but you share it. Somebody acts on it. I get payment and a piece goes to you. Like, that doesn't exist yet, but it could.
It will. It
has to. It has to eventually exist because if you can do that, somebody will.
Yes, and that's the whole thing. But I wanted to get into that because that was a section of these notes that I was writing to myself for the show that I was like, I found it fascinating that it would have worked if there was a way that I could keep the address private within the Lightning Network.
Yeah.
Or some other way. It doesn't matter as long as the user experience is like, I like that hat. Oh, look, here's how I pay for that hat. Boom, it's done. Oh, and the last thing, enter my, my address, shipping address.
Yeah.
If you can make that experience basically a 1-2 punch.
Yeah.
You're going to have a lot less friction on sales.
You also need inventory control in there because if it's a one-off item, you don't want 20 payments on it.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. Except that with that Lightning invoice.
Oh, once it's paid, you can't pay to it anymore. Whoever pays it first. So I can
whoever gets to it first.
20, and when I say 20 and you're sold out, it's not on me. You're out. Like
absolutely,
it fails.
Yes, and unlike Twitter, I can send the exact same note many times, except that it wouldn't be the exact same note because the Lightning invoice would be different every time.
And you said expiries too. So like if you say this is good for 24 hours.
Yep.
You said a number of seconds on your invoice to 24 hours, whatever that comes to in seconds. And if you're doing a deal and maybe it's not a limited inventory but limited time, that string of invoices expires, or like a master invoice type thing where anybody can use it and it creates new ones because they're building that too. Right,
exactly. So the point being is that we've got non-value communication at the same time that we have value communication, and they just fucking collided. Sorry, I didn't mean to actually say
you
that.
Can say that here.
Really passionate about what that means.
No, it changes the world, and it starts to take a lot of things that I've talked about building on Lightning and kind of taking it to another level. Like, I don't know if you've heard me talk about, like, I think we need a traffic app. We need a Waze that lets users not only share information and rat the cops out, but, David rats out the cops. I'm hooking along at 90. I see the little whoopee lights, and I slow down, and I don't get a ticket, and I go, here's $1. Right?
Yes.
And then I verify that asshole's still there, and maybe the next payment hits you for 90% and me for 10 as a verifier, right?
Yep.
I don't know if you need Nostr to do that, but as you're saying this, I'm seeing how it could all play together and make it tighter. And then a lot of this thing about the relays, like if you were building a client or an app and it was for a specific purpose, you wouldn't worry about all the rest of the Nostrverse. Right. You'd only worry about the users who had tied in with that app. They might not even know. They could, just like people don't know they're using TCP, right? They maybe wouldn't even know they're using Nostr. Like, it's an app powered by Nostr. It means nothing to somebody. Like, when somebody buys a computer that says powered by a Pentium whatever, they don't know what the hell that means.
Right. But as exciting as that is, let's get back to, let's sober up a little bit.
Yeah, because we're not there.
Yeah, because the whole thing is that, remember, this is all based around public-private key pairs.
Yeah.
And you're responsible for them. Yeah. So here's the bad thing.
Okay.
Is that for every client that you want to log into, you got to give it your public and your private key. And for every client that you want to log into, you got to give it your public and your private key. And for every client that you want to log into, you got to give it your public and your private key. And for every client that you want to log into, you got to give it your public and your private key. And for every client that you want to log into, you got to give it your public and your private key. And for every client that you want to log into, you got to give it your public and your private key. And for every client that you want to log into, you got to give it your public and your private key. And for every client that you want to log into, you got to give it your public and your private key. And for every client that you want to log into, you got to give it your public and your private key. And for every client that you want to log into, you got to give it your public and your private key. And for every client that you want to log into, you got to give it your public and your private key. And for every client that you want to log into, you got to give it your public and your private key. And for every client that you want to log into, you Do you trust that client? Are you sure?
Yeah.
How do you know if you can trust
How do you know
them?
if you trust that client?
And here's one of the things that I use is, especially for web clients, okay, which is mostly where I'm using, like snort.social. Again, we'll get into all that. But when I'm on the web and I want to try out 12 different clients, of which there are many more than that, I'm not going to enter my private key into all of them. That's stupid. And
it sounds stupid.
It's bad. So are you familiar with Alby, ALBY?
Yep.
Okay. Alby extension, almost immediately after Nostr got big, Nostr really came into the frame about mid-December last year. Almost immediately, Alby had a solution in their Alby wallet with their web extension that it will handle your public-private key pair, and it will auto-sign you in. If it senses that it's a Nostr client, it'll give you a pop-up that says Alby wallet is asking you, do you want to sign in with your public key? Confirm.
I like that. Then, I only have one person I'm trusting then.
Yeah.
Yeah, only one. Been around a while. I use Alby. Right now, if you're watching this video and you're just thinking, man, Jack brought us this great dude, I wish I could give Jack some money. If you're using Alby, you can give me money right now. There's right up in your browser. If you're using Alby, you can do it. I did not know they were already tied together.
Things are moving so quickly that we can't really see them. They're moving kind of at the speed of light. So that's my suggestion is that that's the way that you handle your public-private key pairs. Also make sure that you've got backups of your private key. And the tale of woe from a man named BTC Gandalf, who we used to, back in the day, we would post our public keys so that other people could follow us. And BTC Gandalf posted his private key.
No, don't do that.
Sign the message with his private key. And it's never coming back because guess what? In Nostr, you can't delete notes. Once it's there forever.
Ever.
And so that was
that drunken tweet that you left out for 3 seconds and deleted and nobody screenshotted it and now it's gone. That doesn't happen.
That does not happen.
Roseanne Barr, Donald Trump, et cetera, should not use Nostr.
Exactly. It's like a hardcore hike, like the one you took.
Yeah.
Do you really want to do this?
Yeah.
Because once
there's a point where you're committed.
Once you're out in the shit, if you get a broken leg, you better be able to set that thing yourself. Because that's where we're at. We're out in the middle of the Appalachians, man. It's just like there's nobody around, nobody to help us, just like Bitcoin, right? Yeah. So his account is completely compromised forever. So, but luckily enough, we rely on the social layer. He spins up another set of private public key pairs. Yep. He's already got a list of, like, he can go back to his original compromised account and refollow all those people and send them a message that says, hey, I screwed up. Yeah. I put my private key in. And now it's become like a manner of a joke to sign in as BTC Gandalf and just post weird stuff.
So that's the bad thing, right? So I was just thinking the good part is the account just terminates, but it doesn't because now anybody can put whatever they want on there.
It's forever. It's like a Bitcoin wallet address. If I give you a one-time Bitcoin wallet address and say, Jack, it's like, I don't know, I sent you back some of the Comfrey that you sent me or something like that. And I go, here's your one-time wallet address, on-chain BTC transaction. Yeah, you're going to pay a fee. Here's the wallet address. Don't use it again. Yeah. I can't stop you from giving me more money on that same address.
No, you can't. I can put anything I want on there.
Yeah, it is forever, forever, because that's the way Bitcoin works, and it's exactly the way Nostr works. And that's really important to understand that your private keys, your public key pair, this isn't something that you can just email customer support at 1-800-CRY-HARDER and get fixed. It ain't getting fixed. It's never going to get fixed.
I want that number now.
What, 1-800? Oh, I use that as my customer. That's my customer service. If you need customer service,
no 800 area codes left that use the word "cry harder" because I would vanity peg for that and own that number and just put a recording on it and I would use that and I would pay the 6 cents per minute inbound, limited to 1 minute a call, just to let people call it when they were bitching at me. Yeah. So it sounds like we can't get rid of stuff.
Yeah.
But what about third parties? So uncensorable is supposed to mean uncensorable. Could Nostr be stopped? Let's say that the powers that want to be decided we hate this, and we build all this wonderful stuff we're talking about. It's 5 years later. It's mature, like Lightning is now. We got all these people building on top of it. Could someone use vulnerabilities and shut down these relays, or somehow attack the networks and shut it down?
Yep. Yeah, you can attack the network, most definitely. So let's just back up and remember that this is a protocol. The Nostr thing is a protocol. Okay. It's implemented in almost every computer language that you can imagine already. Rust, Go, C++, C++, C, F#, whatever. Whatever, you pick your poison, I guarantee you that there's already an implementation of the Nostr protocol in that. So, and the thing about it is that the Lightning or the Nostr protocol is very lightweight. That's why MyNodeBTC and Start9 and Umbrel have all pushed the ability for you to run a relay, because running the relay is one thing, and it's easy, it's cheap, it's super simple. Collecting the data and holding the data for further use is up to you and however many terabytes of a hard drive you want, but that's a separate issue.
Okay.
So once that protocol, now the protocol's been out in the wild and I can run it on a Raspberry Pi 4, good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck. Now, surely somebody in your audience is probably a kick-ass network, guy that understands networks at the protocol layer at TCP/IP and says, well, he's not right. I will take that. I reserve the right to be wrong. But as far as I can tell from everything else that I've seen, because it's so lightweight and because almost any idiot can run one, again, good luck. More power to you.
I think you could easily attack a relay.
Yep.
But not attack the relays. It's kind of the same thing with Bitcoin, right? Like
whack-a-mole.
You could go after one miner somehow, I would imagine. You could figure out a way. But good luck shutting down the network. Now, the other side of that is a Bitcoin miner is very incentivized to keep mining.
Yes.
And a Bitcoin miner has a whole lot of horsepower just even in one mining rig. And so it takes a lot of, if you had enough computing power to attack the Bitcoin network successfully, then the smartest thing for you to do would be participate in the network. That's kind of what keeps it defensible, that it's so expensive to do that, hey, I want the Bitcoin, right? You have to put like multiple nations together to do this or something. And then all the other shit you should be doing.
Yes.
Where this is, it's the power is anybody can do it, but the weakness, I guess, would be then that there's not a lot of horsepower behind it.
Right.
But it seems like it's still whack-a-mole to the infinity, like way easier to set up a relay than probably a Lightning node.
Yeah. Well, that one I don't know. I got a Lightning node. I set that up through MyNodeBTC, and I turned on the Nostr relay, and I was like, what do I do? Because there was no interface. I was kind of thinking that when I clicked it after it was on my node, the little app button, that there would be like a window that came up, and it's like, nope, you got to interface with this command line interface as far as I can tell. That's where it is right now. Again, I don't need all this stuff out of the box. There is some assembly required, right? And given how much I want to be able to do this is exactly how much I will have to learn to do it. But be that as it may, if I've got at least 2 relays running the Nostr protocol, I got a network.
Yeah. I
need 2.
Yeah.
So again, we go back to whack-a-mole. And again, the notes that are being sent, like I hate to say it, but like your tweet being sent, if it's just nothing but text, like a Lightning invoice or instructions on what to do somewhere, those notes are so small, it's possible to broadcast and relay that through repeater stations on AM radio. good luck. I mean, good luck. And of course, that boils down to, well, how tenacious do we want to be?
Yeah.
Am I really going to go do that? Well, I might. I won't.
Somebody
today.
will just to prove that you can do it. That's what's going to happen. That's one of those. You and me won't do it, but there'll be two dudes in a garage smoking dope going, you know, we should do it.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, right? I mean, that's going to happen.
Yeah, exactly. So, but here's the thing is that from a protocol standpoint, good luck. Now, from a social layer network, things get a little weird, like spam attacks that never, ever, ever lit up. And we've had them. We got one right now. It's called the Hell Thread, where somebody wrote a note that had like 150 or 250 public keys in it that said something nasty. And now that, like, my notifications, like my messages to me and my notifications on Damus, 100% unusable. Because there is nasty stuff all in this thread. It's bad, bad, bad. Before that, there was the dick pic fiasco of early January 2023, where the global feed for like that all your relays are like getting all the messages and just shoving them into your interface.
Yeah.
It was just nothing but these dick pics. Same one too, not a whole bunch of different ones, just the same one from 500 different pub keys.
So even the dude that wanted them's like, yo, man, it's the same
do something different. Do something different. But the point is that really screwed things up. It caused questions to be asked like, how can we stop this?
Yeah.
Paid relays. We already have them. Like Eden.Nostr. something is like one of the paid relays. I have 6 paid relays, and it cleaned up my feed.
That's the solution. The market's always a solution. And
the market will provide.
If you place value in something, somebody will return that value with a product, a service, what have you. So I like that. So there'll eventually be an opportunity to have like relay operators. In fact, it sounds like it already is. Relay operators are making money by providing relays that are clean.
Some of them are making good money.
What you want, right? So somebody might have a different version of clean. And the beauty of this is there's room for everybody in that pool.
Right.
I like that.
Now,
I like that.
ISPs blocking relay IPs. Well, since it's so ultra cheap to spin up a relay and, again, whack-a-mole, good luck, brother.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like your marksmanship better be spot on because it's just, you're going to be killing. It's like, I don't know, being overrun with 10 million squirrels jumping around trees and you're trying to kill them all. And they keep breeding. See, that's the point is that in mid-December, there was 20 relays that I knew about that I could attach to. Now there's 528. That's what? Maybe one full quarter of a year. I mean, that's almost exponential growth.
Well, I see people constantly, I'm a Nostr on Twitter. That's kind of fun watching one platform use itself to build another series of clients, right? Basically, one client being used to sift people into all these different clients, but all with a connection. It's interesting.
Right.
Yeah, so I don't know how it really could be stopped, especially long term, because now you've got all these propeller heads, and I say that in a very flattering way, right? A very flattering way, right? I don't mean it as an insult, that are all working on all this stuff, because way back in the very early days of the internet, and I got into marketing online, I was what you would call flat out a black hat SEO person. I used every hole in Google's algorithm. I did crazy shit. I would use Cold Fusion or PHP and take something that people shop for locally and took the U.S. Postal database and made one website selling one thing, but a page for 65,000 cities across the country and all the states and even some cases regions, and then took and pulled in snippets of information from bunches of other places. So every time that page loaded, the core content would stay the same, but there was no duplicate content, right? Because the majority of the content on the page was different every time. So the Alabama page looked different than the Texas page, even though they were the same. And so I made a lot of money doing shit like that, selling like cable service, phone service, stuff like that people look for locally.
Yeah.
And it doesn't work anymore. Well, the reason it doesn't work is because we exploited it. And I don't mean when I say me, just me. I mean, I wasn't the only one doing this. We had, private forums that we shared information on how to do all this stuff.
Right.
And Google's a better search engine because we exploited it.
Uh-huh.
Right. And so I think, and the people that are doing this shit are way more advanced than me and my contemporaries back in, 1999.
Yeah.
Right. Way more advanced than we were. We were just playing it like, oh, I can do that. Holy shit. Let me see what I can do.
Right. And that, but that was like you had this interest in it. It was giving you something back.
Yeah.
So one of the things that the only real thing that kind of every once in a while worries me about Bitcoin is the same thing that worries me about Nostr is to kill it, apathy. Just so many people, there's so many social medias, yet one more thing to log into and blah, blah, blah. So there's that. And then the market being saturated, but then again, is it really saturated? I mean, you were talking about, what it is correct. You made the correct statement that it just so happens that the first thing that we latched onto was recreating the Twitter environment as clients in Nostr.
Yep. That
was probably, I don't want to say it was dumb. It makes sense.
It was easy.
And that's what was central on people's minds is like, because this goes back to I put in my, read or your form. This was my second Bitcoin moment, Nostr.
Okay.
This is important, right? So I got deplatformed from Twitter, not once, not twice, but 5 times.
Okay.
The last time that I got deplatformed, it was because I put in a new piece of information in my bio that was my old Bitcoin hackers Mastodon or Fediverse address. And they linked that back to my original account that got banned a year ago and said, you're trying to evade suspension. That was 30 seconds after I hit save on my bio.
Yeah.
I get an email, you're done.
Yeah.
Okay. So at that point, like I get kicked off somewhere mid-November. Within a week, that really drove me to figure out the Nostr thing. And then I'm like, oh, this is why. And this is why it comes up like this. I find my first client. I generate the key pair. I start, I go, I don't know what this is. So I start following people. I get followed by people. I send some messages. I do other stuff. I send DMs. I get a couple of DMs. And then I go, well, wait a minute. What's this other client? So at I think one of the first ones that I was playing around with like Snort or something. And then I went over to Astral.Ninja. Warning on Astral.Ninja, do not use. Okay. It will leak your private keys, which is why I don't like putting private keys into all these clients. So warning. But at the time I was using it. Then I went over to another one, and I can't remember any of these names, right? Iris.to is another one, and there was another one. But when I went to, so I'm on this one client that I get kind of used to, and I do all these things, and then I move to another client, completely different user interface, except for what? All of the people that I followed on the other client was there.
Okay.
All of the people that followed me were still following me on this new client. Because it's all part of my public key.
Okay,
all of the DMs I sent and received, they're all there. Everything was there.
Sure.
And that's when I realized this is exactly like Bitcoin. No matter what you do to me, no matter what relays get rid of me, no matter what client blacklists my IP, you're not getting rid of my public key. You can't erase it. Try to erase a grain of sand on the beach. You can't destroy the mass any more than you can destroy. Once you pull up that public key, once you gin that thing up in that private key, it's there forever because it was already there forever. Yeah. We just uncovered it.
So and how that was the person make their get a pub key? people do this all the time with Bitcoin, and they don't know they've done it. They get a wallet,
Yeah.
right? They generate a wallet. It generates immediately a public key and a private key, and then you have multiple addresses that are all secured by that wallet, and they didn't really do it.
Right.
Like if you go get one of these clients, does that make one for you and then give it to you?
Yes.
Or do you have? Okay, all right.
But
So I'm listening to this today, and I'm like, I'm willing to give this crazy shit a shot. I'm sitting out here in the audience, and what do I freaking do? Because I still don't know what I do.
like one of my favorite clients. I'm gonna hold on for a second. Let me get over. I'm gonna take this and go over to something that you're not seeing. Nostr Grant.
If you want to.
With the hell thread that's going on right now,
okay,
I don't want to subject your audience to that because right. I can stomach a lot of crap, but
we're good.
I don't want to do that to your audience.
We're good.
Nostagram.co. I can go over. It's actually my favorite client for the web. Another one is like snort.social. Snort.social. I'll go over there. Okay. So I can go to settings and I can go to, I can go over to settings when you're not logged in. You can go to settings and it will say, do you want to make a key pair? Why? Yes, I do. And then you hit OK and it gives you a private key and it gives you a public key. Write that shit down.
Okay.
Write it down somewhere, like even, like just give a however you want to do it. But you got to keep your private key. Once that private public key pair is generated, it doesn't matter what client generated it. You can go to any client and use it. But remember the Alby wallet we were talking about?
Yeah.
Alby wallet will generate you a key pair inside the wallet.
I like that because then I'm never doing it with somebody else's stuff.
Exactly.
Now, how does that? Well, let's say I'm using the one we just had up. I don't remember what you said it was now.
Nostagram.co.
Nostagram. I'm using Nostagram. I go there. I have Alby. I've already generated my key. Alby somehow interacting with Nostagram. How does Alby keep Nostagram from gaining access to that information that I've generated there?
I wish I could tell you, but I'm at the limit of how that communication on the back end works between Alby and the clients. But I can tell you this. I've been using the Alby extension and I have not had any issues that I am aware of.
Okay.
And I've had the extension live well before I got into Nostr.
Yeah.
And I have not had any issues that I am aware of. That doesn't mean that there's not issues. If there is, good luck. I don't know about them. So
yeah, I got you. Okay.
Cool. Where were we?
We were talking about what a person does.
Oh yeah. Okay. So we that whole thing about the whole Twitter clone kind of thing. There's a Telegram clone. That's the Astral Ninja one. It looks completely different, and this leads me to the fact that. Honestly, this doesn't have to be this way. Even Jack Dorsey, the guy that started Twitter, right? Mm-hmm. He's got like a 1 BTC bounty out on somebody that will use Nostr to build a GitHub replacement. Because GitHub is owned by like Microsoft now or somebody like that. Yeah. So it's completely compromised, and God forbid that's where the Bitcoin repository right now lives, although we have copies. So that's good. But he's got, I mean, that's a lot of money, right? For somebody, especially for somebody using Nostr, which is, from what I understand, easy to work with. It's lightweight and all that kind of stuff. To build a GitHub, to rebuild GitHub in it,
it's $20,000 a day, and it's probably $250,000 in 2 years.
Right. So,
I mean, yeah.
Exactly. So that's a lot of money on the line. But again, we're copying what we already have, right? Yeah. So it'll take somebody else to go, I want to create something from nothing that nobody's ever seen. I don't even know what it is. It's going to be possible, because what can you create with communications of non-value that are married with communications of value? there's not really a box that you're in.
Adam Curry, get on this shit. You're good at this stuff, right? You know?
Yeah, I don't think Adam understands it just yet. I listened to No Agenda and Podcasting 2.0, and they're kind of bagging on it right now, and I'm like, I know where you're at in this journey, and that's okay.
Yeah.
If I can be of service, call what, don't call 1-800-CRY harder, call 1-800, I'll try to help. I don't know. But here's like an idea that I had. Do you use any kind of application for note taking?
I use Notes. I use the most boring one there is.
Right.
And I use it because it seamlessly integrates between my MacBooks and my phone. And I use it for boring shit, like the 3 things I'm going to get done today, or I'll put my grocery list on it, and I'll tell my wife, if you want to add shit to the list before I get to the store, just open it and add it. It'll be there when I get there. That's all I do with Notes. I'm not meticulous with time management. I just am not.
Okay, and I'm not either, but I've found a couple of applications that are really helping me along. This one I do want to show you because it kind of makes sense to show you. So it's Present.
Yep.
Where am I at?
And I would share the tab that you're going to pull up. You should say Present, and it should say Share Screen.
Yeah.
And then when you hit that, you should see tab. Okay, and I'll add it for you.
Okay, there you go. All right, this is the notes that I'm working on today, or working off of for today. This is what's called a canvas. But the whole thing is a note-taking thing called Obsidian.
Jesus, you are organized. It looks like a plan to build an atomic bomb or something.
But if I go
paperclip on the screen here, if you can't see it, folks.
Yeah. But if I go over to something that I've been working on, for a while, like regenerative agriculture books, soil owners manual. This is a write-up I did for soil owners manual, and you say, hey, look, I kind of want that. And this is also what's called a note in Obsidian. Has absolutely nothing to do, but it's got all this information like I can backlink to the author, and I've got a whole page for him. And it's not because I built this all. It just started coming up as I started keeping notes.
Okay. And
you want it. What if I can turn this into a note that Nostr understands and send it directly to your Obsidian app, and you pay me for it? Or you rent it because I've got a lightning node.
So I give you 100,000 sats to have it for 2 days.
Right. Or, it's like you want all the links all the news stories that I covered in, yesterday's episode 685 of the Bitcoin and podcast. And here's all the links that I use. And you go, I heard something, and maybe you can even do a blind request where I don't know who the hell wants it, but I just get this request inside Obsidian, and it's powered by Nostr. And it's a request, and there's like an invoice that if I accept it will give me 100 sats, and they get all of these things. This is a terrible example because who gives a shit about what I'm showing you now?
Yeah.
Just insert anything that you want that you think is of value, that is information that I can put in an application like this, replace that, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, yeah, I would, I think I want that whole canvas that he's sharing with Jack right now. Let's go see where that is. Nostr, and it's the TSP Nostr canvas. And if you want this, you can have it, and I'll pay that. I accept the invoice, and it gets paid and sent to my Lightning, and then all of a sudden, this entire file gets shot out as a note over Nostr, and it comes right into your application. It could be like that.
So this brings up something else, though. So as you're talking about how light everything is, I start thinking about what actually gets the most traction being shared today. And it's videos, it's images, it's much heavier files.
Very.
So if I'm on Nostr right now, can I share videos, or do they have to be hosted somewhere else? How does that work?
It depends on the client. You can go ahead and stop sharing this if you want. It depends on the client. Some clients, there's like Nostr. It's one of the reasons why I like Nostr. And by the way, the gentleman that built Nostr, John Leger, He was the guest on one of my previous podcasts, and he talks all about Nostrgram. We talk all about Nostr, and I'll give you that later. But in Nostrgram.co, you can just put videos and images directly into your note. Somebody's got to host that. Right now, it's John.
Okay.
So it's painful for him, right?
Gotcha.
In what I normally do is I rely on, like, I use a lot of snort.social as well, and I rely on a third party, which is always bad, but it is what it is. We're building this stuff.
Yeah.
We got to figure it out.
Yeah.
I use Imgur to host either a video or rather like a small GIF or a small video or a picture, and I put the link in. I'll put the link into the note. Most clients will render that link as a picture that you can see, which is kind of cool. All right. So the other thing is that is a concern because this is massive amounts of data. We're talking, you get like a couple of million users doing this. You're talking about petabytes. All right.
Yeah.
How do we solve it? I don't know. We'll figure it out. We're not stupid. The human condition is that which finds problems and then burns them down with a flamethrower. That's what we do.
And we need to figure out like how to deal with things that don't need to be there forever. So this is a tweet that I sent today promoting this live stream, right? And this live stream will be hosted on various video websites. It'd be great if there was a Nostr equivalent, but it'll be on some very uncensorable sites in addition to YouTube and whatever. This tweet and that image that I uploaded because Twitter was being bitchy today and it wouldn't bring the thumbnail in from the post, I don't really care if that thumbnail's not there as soon as we're done.
Right.
Right? Because there'll be a new thing that is the permanent podcast, right? And there's tons of stuff. I'll share a meme or something like that, and I don't really care if that meme's there 3 weeks later. So but Nostr's like forever. So I actually think the third party of some of the pieces in some ways makes sense. Throw the video on DTube or whatever, or I can't think of the one everybody else is using now. It's the one where all the crazies are like the complete, like even I'm like, whoa, that dude's got he ain't got a tin hat. That dude's got a steel hat, man. He's got I can't think of what it's called now, but it's one of those kind of like buzz tube or something. I don't know. Right.
Okay. But okay. So like the weightiness of ancillary files, that's a thing.
Yeah.
That's a thing. So there's been talk already in people that are developing Nostr is they get it clearly, and they're trying to figure it out. So questions are becoming, do we really need exactly what you're saying? Do we really need to keep this forever? And you kind of can't delete a note.
Yeah.
You kind of can, but you kind of can't. And again, user experience snafu causes friction. We're not sure. We're building it. We're trying. We're testing. We're testing in production. We're, as Adam Curry says, we're running with scissors. That's what we're doing. Yeah. We're running with scissors. We'll figure it out. And I don't think that it's impossible to never not delete a note. Maybe we can overwrite the note with like a 0-bit data or something like that, where it's just blank. It's still there. It's just ain't nothing in it. But like the video file falling off after 30 days, why not? Unless I could pay, we'll get into last thing we should probably end up with Zaps, but I could pay a relay, like I put the note, and I get the 6 kinds of information that it needs to be a functional part of the protocol, and I give it, upload the video that I'm going to attach to it, and then I attach to that an invoice of 100,000 sats.
Yeah.
And that gives me a timer. And if I want more time, and again, we have to measure that against the user experience. How wonky will that be? Well, we won't know until somebody actually builds the damn thing, and then we'll figure out if it sucks as a user experience. If it does, we'll figure it out from there. This whole in
the real world, the strong live and the weak die, and that's okay. Like failure is okay.
Yes.
How many versions of email were there?
Oh God.
Right.
Yeah, how many?
Right. Yeah. I don't know if most people in the audience probably don't know this. The government, when email came up, thought people would pay the government for government email. And I don't mean that you could have a .gov. I meant like they literally thought you would pay like a nickel an email.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and they really thought people would do it, and they actually built it, and then like nobody used it, and they're like, well, we'll use it internally, and they're like, well, that makes no sense. We'll be paying ourselves, right?
Well, Adam Back came up with Hashcash to do the exact same thing, but that was a spam prevention thing.
Yeah.
There's no reason why something like that doesn't work here. I can choose. See, that's the thing is like I can choose to have a public relay. I might have to put up with dick pics. Okay. I can choose to have a private relay. How much do I want to pay for it? What services does it provide? Does it provide good services? Well, then I'll probably pay for it. Does it just suck and do nothing? Well, I don't really want to pay for it. Okay. But again, this is the wanting the everything out of the box to work exactly the way that you're used to and the ease of which, the convenience of which you've become accustomed. Stop it. Is there any possible way that we could do something the hard way for frickin' once?
Yeah.
I mean, I know we don't always have to, but is that what does that journey entail? What gifts does it give us on the other side of learning because we went through something hard?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, look at blogging, right? Before WordPress, blogging was hard.
Yeah. Blogging was hard.
Blogging was hard. Now blogging is easy. And now literally anything you want a blog to do, there's a plugin, and that plugin will either throw a little advertisement in there, or you can pay for it, or it's a freemium. Like you get the base layer, and they'll give you that for free because software's printing money. Once you've done it, it's done.
Right.
But you want all the expanded features, like all-in-one SEO plugin for WordPress. It's free, but do you want everything, or do you want to be able to just put in your basic tags that only change how things display on a search engine? It's up to you. Do you want analysis, right? You pay for the pieces you want, or you buy a Tesla. You buy a Tesla. The Tesla you buy that won't go 3.2, 0 to 60, all you got to do is pay for it, and they'll click a button, and everything that's needed is already there, and you pay for what you want. And I think this it might be the most extensive example of that ever as it matures.
Yeah.
Because why would it be?
Yeah, a complete sandbox that actually does stuff.
Yeah.
My kids play, like Minecraft. It's a sandbox. Like, yeah, you can't get anything out of it. I mean, spatial recognition, building skills, interfacing with a computer. Yeah, but everything that is in, Minecraft is in Minecraft. It's in the sandbox. It remains there forever and a day. This one's out in the wild, walking around, reaching for things and breaking shit. This is different.
This is about the Simpsons episode we talked about with Nicole and John the other day, where Homer goes back in time and sneezes on a dinosaur. And when he comes forward, like everything's jacked up, right?
Yes, yeah.
And then he just keeps running the toaster time machine until it comes back to normal. And it's almost normal. And he settles for it, right?
He settles for it. Settles for normal.
So, yeah, let's end with Zaps, because I keep seeing people, I got Zaps. I got a bunch of Sats today on Nostr or whatever. How does that work?
Okay, this answers the question of how is Bitcoin integrated directly with Nostr. It is not.
Okay.
Kind of. The Bitcoin main chain transactions, Nostr doesn't see it. Nostr doesn't understand it.
Okay.
Maybe one of these days somebody will build something for the protocol that will. I don't know. But right now, However, Zaps, remember we were talking about event of kind 1?
Okay.
And that's like sort of just text. And the protocol says, I'm going to be sending a text event. So I know how to format it for the relay, and here you go. Zaps is a different kind of event that the protocol understands. Mostly you interact with that. Most of the time that all the time that I'm interacting with it, I'm interacting with Zaps through a client, and the client is relaying the information to the protocol. So in like Damus, I have on my iPhone, I got Wallet of Satoshi, right? And Damus, at the time, there was way back in the day, last December 17th, we were still posting LN invoices generated from Wallet of Satoshi and a few other ones. We would paste them right in to the note, and people they'd copy and they'd paste into their Wallet of Satoshi, and they'd pay me. I'd go check my Wallet of Satoshi, and I'd say, look, they paid me. And Nostr didn't see any of it. And then all of a sudden I was able to get a Wallet of Satoshi invoice and drop it into Damus, and it would render it as a button with a picture of the invoices. This is a Wallet of Satoshi invoice.
Okay.
And I would click it, and it would take me to Wallet of Satoshi. So we've deleted a step. And then we got the ability to put in and I'm just going with Wallet of Satoshi. Lots of wallets can be used. Okay. But I don't want to go over all that because I know you're probably low on time.
No, we're good.
I can go to Wallet of Satoshi, and I can get my Wallet of Satoshi address, which is like, I think mine is tearingfeet31 at walletofsatoshi.com or something like that.
Mine is beefy Persian 37.
There you go.
Because it auto-generates some random crap, and that's what I got, you know.
And now most clients in your profile will allow you to drop that in to a specific spot that says Lightning payments, and you drop in that, and then in your profile that somebody else sees, all of a sudden a lightning bolt occurs in your profile, and they hit that, and it opens up Wallet of Satoshi or whatever it is that, you know, there's ways that you can set these clients to recognize certain wallets. Just figure it out. I can't hold that many hands, but I got mine set for Wallet of Satoshi. So when I hit the little lightning bolt, Wallet of Satoshi comes up, and it says, how much you want to pay Jack? And I go, I don't know, 10,000 Satoshis. And I hit, it generates it, and I just hit send. I don't even paste the invoice. But because when I hit what happens is I hit your lightning bolt, it generates me an invoice.
Okay.
And then I can sit where, wait a minute, no, I'm sorry. All I have to do is put in your Wallet of Satoshi address.
Because you're using LN URL, I guess is what it's called.
Yeah, but this isn't a zap. This is a tip.
Okay.
And then somebody finally figures out, and I think I can't remember who it was that did it. Doesn't matter. They figured out how to make an event. And now I can zap you directly to that same address. You don't have to change anything.
Okay.
Because it's present in your bio. If you send out like, I just did this show with David about Nostr, come listen, here's the link. And then I can go and I see that note. I can specifically zap that note.
Okay.
And that note in clients keeps that information. So like I send out like 10 different notes. One has nothing in it. One has a picture of a dirty kitty. The other one has a really well thought out essay. And chances are good the one that I put the most proof of work into will get the most zaps.
Okay.
I can use it as a metric of here's what people like what I do, and here's when people don't give a shit about what I do.
So how's the other end work then? So let's say that I drop my beefy Persian thing in there, and so then I'm somehow having to link my payment side back, right? So it makes total sense to me that I could get paid that way.
Right.
Sending it inside Nostr, hitting a lightning bolt and zapping.
Right.
See, I understand how you do it in Fountain because you have a wallet inside Fountain.
Right.
That's a custodial arrangement at that point, right?
If it's on your phone, like, let's just take Damus. I'm not sure about Amethyst. I can't speak to it. Not an Android user. In Damus, it knows you've got Wallet of Satoshi. It just knows. It's like it senses that you've got these wallets on there. And there's a little bit more to it than that. I mean, like you hit thing and it will say, hey, I detected these, here's all the wallet list I can use. I click Wallet of Satoshi and it sets it as my default wallet.
Okay.
Then after that, if I want to pay you, I hit a lightning bolt to zap you. It brings up my Wallet of Satoshi.
Okay.
And I've got a set, like right now, my general zap amount, I'm a cheapskate, so I'm doing 77 zaps, right? Or 77 sats per zap. So I see your show announcement. I go, I like Jack. I hit zap on that note and not another one, just that note, not your tip, not your profile, that particular note. And it opens my wallet. I hit send and it senses that I want 77 sats and then you get it. and it comes up in your messages or your notifications that you got zapped.
And Adrian just, by the way, sent me 100 sats. That was the direct send just to VP personally. Probably want to see if it really worked, but thank you, Adrian. Not a zap, but that's cool. I guess so. Then, like, I don't spend much time actually on this device. I am a desktop guy because I'm old.
So am I.
And I'm in I work here, and when I leave this office, I try to leave work alone. Like, I don't even have email on here. I do have a Proton Mail account on here for emergency communications and backup communications and vacation communications, right? But I don't even run email on my phone. I walk out of my office, screw it, I'll see you tomorrow.
Right.
So if I'm on a desktop, I've never tried to use. There is no desktop version of Wallet Satoshi, is there?
No.
Okay.
No. I wish there was.
Should I use Albi?
That's where I was going.
Okay.
That's what I use when I go to snort.social, nostagram.co, iris.to. These are all enabled. I sign into all of them with the Albi extension.
So then I'm receiving sats and I'm sending sats from a centralized, and it's the custodial wallet, but who gives a shit, because you're not going to keep $10,000 in there. No,
that's just stupid. And the whole thing of you should never use a custodial wallet. I'm like, okay, it's not binary. There's shades of gray. At what point am I uncomfortable with keeping, what amount am I uncomfortable with keeping on a custodial wallet? I will call you on the phone and I will tell you when I'm uncomfortable. Otherwise, it is none of your damn business.
Yeah.
Okay,
I would get this way. Would I put the bills, if they were cash, in my front pocket and walk around with them? If I would do that, I'm comfortable with it in Wallet, Satoshi, Blue Wallet, whatever. If I wouldn't, then it's either, I use, for my Lightning node, I use Zeus. So I do have a mobile interface to my node with the Zeus wallet, and I'm very comfortable with that, even though there's some, Lightning, I have some liquidity out there for my node, right? And that's still not that much money. The vast majority of my Bitcoin is held on a hardware wallet, right? And that's a total, like, those are different worlds. If you're worried about losing $50, I can't help you. I don't know what to say, man. How do you put your socks on and go out the door if you can't handle that? Yeah, and you can always call 1-800-CRY-HARDER for customer support. There's probably people calling that right now, and who knows who they're getting. Wouldn't it be funny if somebody had that number and didn't even know it was the number they had?
I could see that happening. I've actually wondered that myself, and I have never tried calling it because I'm like, it's funny to say I don't want to give it any more attention than that.
No.
But just to be clear, in case somebody, missed it, you're on a web client, and if you're already using Albi to handle your key pairs, which you should be, there's also NOS2X, I believe. When you hit a zap or you want to tip somebody, that web client knows about Albi. And it says, hey, Albi, can you open up the wallet? I got to make a transaction here.
Okay.
And pop-ups will come up, and you can hit, you can either put in the amount there, or depending on the client, you might have put in the amount you want to zap inside the client. Then it tells Albi. Either way, Albi will give you the ability to say, yeah, I really do want to send this, or, oh, I made a mistake. I didn't mean to actually hit the lightning bolt button and just cancel. So that's how you do it on, at least on Windows, Microsoft based operating systems.
Oh shit, I meant 10,000 sats, not 100, right?
Exactly. Yeah. You get a chance to back out of any transaction, whether it's on, I'm using Damus and iOS, or I'm using, Windows, and I really shouldn't be, but I do. I admit it. I'm going to catch hell for that. It just works. And that's for me, I can send up a shit post and get maybe 77 sats for it, or I can announce a show. I can say, hey, I was on Jack Spirko's The Survival Podcast. If you want to hear it, here's the link that Jack sent me. And people will probably give me one, by the time it's all said and done, a couple of grand in sats.
Okay.
And it goes right into, okay. Let me be clear about this one though. Since I put tearing, I no longer use tearing feet 31 at Wallet of Satoshi for my receive.
Yeah.
Okay. So no, you can. It'll just go to my wallet as Satoshi because I really like the guys over at Stacker.news. It's sort of like a Reddit. It's lightning empowered. It's built by Bitcoiners out of Austin, Texas. I love these guys. I always will love these guys. I'm shilling it on air. It's unruly and probably unwelcome, but
no, it's fine.
I'm able to take their wallet that they give me. I can give them that. I now give Nostr or like my client that address. Okay. And now all my zaps go to Stacker News. If I wanted to change to somewhere, it went somewhere else. Like let's say you gave me your wallet address. And for some reason or another, I was feeling like I'm a generous God and wanted to put your address into where, into my profile for your wallet, then it's going to go to you.
Interesting.
It's amazing. But there was another point that was probably important, but maybe it wasn't because I forgot it, but there it is.
Yeah. Okay. I think that's interesting too, though, because like if I could do that temporarily. So if I had somebody that I found something going on in their life and I knew their place to connect to, I could share their information and you could verify when you were sending it that like all contributions go to this person for this day.
Yeah.
That's kind of interesting, right?
Yeah. And there's a verification process for people that just have to have it. It verifies you that it's like extra verification, like a blue check on Twitter called NIP. Nostr Improvement Possibilities is what NIP stands for.
Okay, so it's like a zip.
Yeah, exactly. It's NIP05, and I use nostrplebs.com. But here's the deal: you have your own website, Jack.
Yeah.
You are an administrator of that website. You can put information from Nostr into your .well known.
Yeah.
And it will. And I don't know how to do that. There's people on Nostr you can ask on exactly how to do that. And then you can take what's generated from that and put it into your profile. And it will say this account basically it says verified. But since I know that for instance, the Beef Initiative, I got him a private key, got a public key, got him like a Nostr plebs. I did that. I had to tell people and announce I'm doing this because Slim is overseas. He ain't got time for this shit, but he needs a presence.
Yeah.
But that's not really verified because I ain't Beef Initiative, right?
I got you.
But when you do it on your website, I'm pretty damn sure you're the only one that could actually put that information in
on my site. Correct.
And there's another layer of pretty sure this is Jack.
Yeah. I'm wondering because I've been trying to get these guys on the air. And I need to play with their browser more, but the Impervious browser, it just seemed like this is a natural fit to like seamlessly integrate into Impervious.
Oh, how are you liking that? Because I'm
so busy,
that
I haven't like actually started using it daily. I'll play with it, and then I'm like, all my shit's set up in Brave, and I go back to Brave, and I need to play with that more because it seems like they built a browser so that it was designed for all of these things, including the thing that you and I will be talking about 2 years from now that has nothing to do with Nostr, right?
Yeah.
Like it's designed for that is how it seems to me anyway.
Yeah.
Let's take a couple real quick questions and I'll let you go. K-Bonk said, so what could be the ideal application? I don't know. We kind of threw some ideas out there. I mean, maybe a fully integrated browser. Maybe that is the ideal.
Yeah, or live garage sales.
Ooh.
Take a picture of the item. It's like, I'm renting a garage sale, and this hasn't sold yet. Take a picture of it, put it on Nostr with a lightning invoice and see if you can get rid of it.
No, wait, check this out. So there's all these people flipping shit, and they go to these thrift shops and stuff, and they pick out the things they know will sell. They buy them. They bring them home and they put them up for sale. And they don't leave them at the thrift store because you put it up for sale, it's not there. You're screwed when you go back and somebody else went and got it. But what if you can you walk around in a Goodwill store like, oh, I think this is pretty cool. And then you just carry it around like you're going to buy it. And if somebody buys it, you put it in the basket so that you're selling it in real freaking time. So like I've got my own
That's a great idea.
secret shoppers, or not. That's not the right word for it. My own, like, because there's people out there that buy ridiculous amounts of bullshit. I think they're stupid, but they want their shit, and there's no reason they shouldn't have it. But like, if I was out there and I'd be like, well, I got this really cool mug. I don't know what it is, right? It's got the Bitcoin Val logo on it, and it ends up in a Goodwill because somebody got rid of it, and they scan that, and somebody in my audience, and let's say we discontinue that from the shop, is like, I want that thing, and I'll pay X for it. You could even have it run like a real-time eBay.
Yep.
Right? So like, starting bid is 10,000 sats, and the auction runs for the next 30 minutes. That's as long as I'm going to be here.
Yep.
And I'm walking out the door in 30 minutes, and if nobody meets the reserve, I'm putting it back on the shelf. And if somebody is the highest bidder, we'll close, I'll take payment, and I'll pay for it at the register. And then we need some kind of reputation management to go with that. So, I'm not closing you over. So you can see in my profile that I have successfully retrieved 400 items and shipped them. So like, okay, I'll buy, like eBay has, like I'll buy from Jack. He's a power seller on Nostradamus thrift shit or whatever it is. That would be a cool app, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And the reputation could be handled like an event kind,
And you can also, so then it goes the other way. Now I'm the collector and I'm like, what I really need is, and here's my bounty for finding it.
There you go.
Right? Here's my bounty. I can't find it online. Surely somewhere it's at somebody's garage sale, estate sale, whatever. I have an open bounty on this thing. The first person that claims it gets 500,000 sats or whatever it is, at the time.
Right.
See, and that's where we're creating something that doesn't exist.
Exactly.
We're not copying. So I think the answer to the ideal application is something that doesn't exist yet. All right. Nick, there's blogs, there's the potential for RSS feeds, there's the potential for file sharing is pretty wild.
RSS feeds are already there. There are whole bots that are pub key, private key paired, that all they do is monitor a single RSS feed and then blast it out over Nostr.
So I could hook up my blog feed.
Yep.
And automatically share every episode, every new item of the day post, all of that shit. Just like right now I do that. Well, Tom did it for me because I didn't do shit. But when I make a new post on TSP, I don't know where it goes first. I think it goes to Telegram first. And it goes to my Telegram channel. My channel reposts it to my group, and one of them throws it over to our Discord. And in one motion, I hit publish. It's Telegram group, Telegram channel, Discord, and to its proper category on our Discord.
Right.
So you could do the same thing with Nostr, right? And broadcast that way into whatever feed you attached it to.
Yeah, and blogs and file sharing. Well, we already talked about that GitHub thing that Jack wants to give somebody and we talked about the Obsidian thing, but yeah, blogs are all of it.
Real quick on this one, Adrian says, how do you link Lightning to Amethyst if it was not covered already? Can't zap without this.
I don't know. Because I'm not an Android user, so I can't speak to – I mean, that's just, unethical for me to speak to something that I don't know anything about.
Keep bumping on it. You'll figure it out. So you want to tell people about your podcast?
Oh, yeah, the Bitcoin and podcast. You can find it Bitcoin and – space dot, which is terrible, but it's supposed to be about Bitcoin and other things.
Right.
Other things exist. I'm on Fountain. I heavily use Podcasting 2.0. My name is David Bennett. I do the show. It's a Bitcoin news show almost every day. I didn't do one today because I'm meeting with you. But if you want to figure out what the hell's going on in Bitcoin, I will read you the articles. Like Guy Swan does these big long ones that are like essays and stuff.
Yeah.
I needed somebody to tell me what the hell was going on with Jerome. What did Jerome Powell say today, and how did it affect Bitcoin? And it's not. Okay. I mean, I do commentary on it, but I'm reading word for word, like 8 to 10 articles that are relevant to Bitcoin. I try to stay as far away from shitcoinery as I can, but sometimes you got to talk about it because it comes in.
Yeah.
And I give you a little market update in the middle of it. I try not to jack around too much, but I do make commentary, and people have been liking it. So cool. I've been doing it for I'm getting into my 5th year. And
that's awesome. That's awesome. Well, you are the one that told me about Podcasting 2.0.
Yay! He finally recognized me.
Yeah, you're the reason I did it. I've said it before.
I never. It's like you got to talk about like Bitcoin podcasting 2.0, and I'm like, I told you about that. I swear to God, I told you about that. I think he's forgotten. I think you forgot me.
Well, you told me about it was so long ago. It was kind of like Nostr. There was all this crap you had to do and stuff, and then I had Adam on, and he's like, "Oh no, just get Breeze." And it was like it already existed, but I didn't know about it. And like the next day, somebody told me about Fountain. And then I didn't do anything with that, and we set it up using some kind of Discord bot, and then when I got on Fountain, I'm like, wait a minute. Like then it really made sense, and I think a lot of this stuff that we're talking about today, it will be the apps that use the protocol that will open it to the masses. But that's why you get involved now. Build your history now.
Yeah,
Deal with
exactly.
the crap now, because I got on Fountain in August last year. And I made the top 10 list on Fountain for the year for supported shows. I think I was number 7 for the year. And I'm like, well, I should have got my ass on there in January. And that would have made a lot more sense, right?
Again, we're all running with scissors around here.
Yeah.
We're all in dangerous territory. But if you want to get an update, generally speaking, Monday through Friday, you go to Bitcoin, and I will read you the news, and I read it verbatim so that you can make your own decision about whether or not my commentary is valid for you.
Sure.
But I just kind of want to leave this off with this last thing, is that where does this all lead us? You're going to end up with 195 pissed off governments. You're going to end up with 195 citizenries that are rediscovering their birthright, their future, their freedoms. And when you add Bitcoin plus the Lightning Network plus Nostr, you got a 3-pole chair, which is the most stable thing that you can have. We've been waiting on Nostr for that last little bit, that last push over the cliff. And that last push over the cliff is it's not going to be bright and cheery and filled with rainbows and, farting unicorns.
Yeah.
There may be blood, and I don't want to end it on a doomer note, but all of this is important. And when things are important, they have a tendency to have consequences. This is going to have consequences. So
there's no such thing as a bloodless revolution. All you get to choose is maybe how much blood and what kind.
Exactly.
Right.
So that's where I'll leave it.
This is they said the revolution won't be televised. However, it shall be broadcasted.
It will absolutely be experienced.
Yeah. Well, man, I've got links to all your stuff in the show notes. One thing I wanted to hit you with before we leave, because I wasn't sure what I was looking at. I've got your Nostr pub key, and there's something that followed that said hex. Is that supposed to be in the show notes or not?
Yeah, there's a 2 versions of the pub key.
Okay.
One starts with npub1.
Okay, I got that one.
That's a type. That's a type. Some clients don't like that type. They want a hex. So I had to convert npub1 through an npub2 hex converter.
Okay.
And that's the hex. So if for whatever reason it says client you put in says, I don't like it, try the hex one. Don't include hex or npub in parentheses, just the numbers that come before it.
Okay, gotcha. So if you can't find them on one, you can try the other. And I've got them both in the show notes. I've got his Stacker News profile. I've got his podcast on Fountain and on Apple, Instagram, No Agenda Social, and Patreon, all in the show notes today. So if you like what David had to say and you want to find out more and follow him, I got all the ways that he gave me that you can do that locked into the show notes for you today. That'll be on the audio version of the episode. Link to get there is right down there in the video. If you're watching this, anytime after we did it, it's probably already there. If you're watching it right now, not done yet. You'll have to wait. That will be live in about an hour from right now. That is 1:54 p.m. Central Standard Time, Thursday today. David, thank you for being with us today.
You're welcome, Jack. Thank you for having me.
Well, I will say that I talked to David a little bit after the episode, and I'm sure that this won't surprise anybody when I say this, but I'm less excited about what Nostr is and what it does than what it will be and what it will do. That's really what I I'm excited about and I take away from this. And I'm finally going to get my butt on Nostr, and I promise you guys it may not be today or tomorrow, but by the end of the weekend, so Monday, I will have a pub key for those of you guys that are on Nostr and want to come and hook up with me, and I'll figure it out. And I think I'm going to follow his advice and use the Albi extension to integrate with whatever app I choose, or whatever application or website I choose to use with Nostr. That seemed like good advice. With that, I want to remind you guys that there are ways you can help support us, and one of them is really simple. You just start your online shopping at tspaz.com. That's T-S-P-A-Z, tspaz.com. Item of the day today I brought around about 2 weeks ago. They're adjustable grow light rope hangers for seed starting systems, aquaponic systems, hydroponic systems, indoor systems where you're using grow lights. And honestly, anything that you want to hang that ain't that heavy anyway, where you want to be able to change the height at which it hangs. These are pretty cool. They're a little ratchet gear shifter in them. They've got a carabiner on one side that's attached to the pulley system, and then they got a carabiner on the other side just tied onto the rope. It's actually a pretty long rope, so you can do quite a bit of elevation change. I actually, since I'm using them in my planter system, I took most of that rope and cut off the extra just so it wasn't in the way. But I added something today. My grandson went and shot a video for me, just about a minute long. I actually have them installed in one of my seed starting systems now, and so that you can see exactly how they work with my grow lights, and why I chose to hang them the way that I did with that orientation. These things are inexpensive. The price has actually gone up a couple bucks since the first time I featured them just 2 weeks ago, but they're still cheap, and they just work and work every time. So check them out. And this is one of those ones where I'm not really concerned about the brand. There's a lot of people that make these, and I give some information in another video that's in the write-up. Just remember, you can always support us and find the item of the day at tspaz.com, T-S-P-A-Z, tspaz.com, and all my reviews are there, categorized alphabetically, so you can find like the permaculture stuff, the energy stuff, all of it's there. If it's in T-Spaz, I own it, I use it, I bought it, and I would spend my money on it again, or I wouldn't recommend it to you. Last but not least, do consider joining the Members Support Brigade. Just go to survivalpodcast.com, click on Members to learn more. If you sign up and use the discounts that are provided to members, you will get your money back several times over every year. It's a profitable thing to be a member of the MSB. Unless you pay for it with Bitcoin and Bitcoin quadruples in value or something like that, like David mentions today, that can happen. But remember, if we don't use Bitcoin, then Bitcoin doesn't have a use. And you can always spend Bitcoin without actually spending your Bitcoin by using the Strike app. And if you want to know more about my Bitcoin tools, go to the bitcoinbreakout.com and click on tools, and all of the different stuff that I use is there. With that, I will catch you guys tomorrow with an expert council Q&A show for the week, and then we'll start the whole thing again on Monday. With that, it's been Jack Spirko with another edition of the Survival Podcast.
Bringing you down. Are they gonna bail you out or just run you around? They said you should have a house the American way. $1 down, $1 a month, and you'll never have